Well, if you're on social media, which you probably are, you've probably seen influencers or bloggers and self-help gurus promise that if you just learn to love yourself, you'll be successful and you'll be fulfilled. But our next guest says this all about me concept is perpetuating a toxic culture. Let's bring in the author of You're Not Enough and That's Okay, Escaping the Toxic Culture of Self-Love, which is out now for sale. Allie Beth Stuckey. Allie Beth, welcome back to the show and congratulations on the new book.
Thank you so much, and thanks for having me.
All right, well, this is a pretty controversial topic in this day and culture when people would say you are enough. Who is this book for?
This book it can be for everyone, but it's particularly for young women who are wrapped up in this culture of self-love, what I call in the book, the cult of self-affirmation that tells you you're enough for yourself, you're enough for your own happiness, your own purpose, your fulfillment, you're even enough to determine your own truth. You're perfect the way you are. Basically, you are your own God. You don't need any faith, any religion, anyone else, any community, church, anything like that to tell you what to do or to make you feel good about yourself. The only thing that's important is that you make you happy. Unfortunately, this has led to an epidemic of narcissism, which is making younger generations not happier, but actually a lot more miserable. So that's why I wrote this book.
Allie Beth, Lindsay and I were talking about this earlier today. Back in the day, it used to be the media and that would perpetuate this problem. I think more so it's becoming social media. Where do you put the blame these days?
There are so many different places where you could put it. I mean, there is certainly a me first or me centric mentality that is extremely prevalent among the younger generations, more so than the older generation. So you could blame that on personal technology, which kind of started in the 80s and of course is so popular now. You could blame it on social media. You could blame it on some of our politicians who have told us that we are entitled to all the things that we want. You could blame it probably on parents who told us that we get a trophy just for showing up, and the same thing for teachers who told all of us that we are special and we deserve everything that we want. And so there are a lot of cultural, a lot of personal influences that have led us in this direction. I think some of it is well-intentioned. Of course, you don't want anyone to hate themselves, and I don't either. You don't want self-loathing and self-deprecation and things like that. But unfortunately, we have encouraged young people to obsess over what they think of themselves and obsess over the things they want rather than looking out for the good of other people, engaging in things like church and their community and volunteering and family and parenting, all the things that we know add a lot of meaning and purpose to life. Unfortunately, a lot of young people are rejecting in the name of selfishness.
You know, in the book, you talk about these 5 cultural myths that people are believing that if they do these, they will be self-fulfilled. What would you say is the #1 myth that you feel like most people buy into?
Probably one of the most popular. And because I see this is I'm a Christian, this is a largely Christian book. And so this particular lie, the last one that we talk about, I see both in and outside of the church. And that is, you can't love other people until you love yourself. It sounds really good. You can't commit to relationships. You can't love your spouse. You can't love your kids. You can't love your friends, parents, whoever, until you learn to love yourself. Because after all, Jesus said to love your neighbor as you love yourself. And so the thinking of today goes that you have to first focus on loving you before you can love other people. But again, that traps you in this kind of self-centered mindset that instead of going out and serving and loving other people and giving charity to other people, meeting the needs of your neighbors or your family or kids or whatever, you focus only on what you want. And unfortunately, again, that leads to just more misery. Thankfully, we don't have to wait until we have a certain level of self-esteem to go out and love other people, to be good friends and wives and parents and volunteers and all of these things. We are meant to be productive in our life. We are meant to cultivate the world around us, to make the world around us and the lives of the people around us better. That is our purpose. This just endemic and never-ending narcissism that we are calling self-love, not only is it making people sad, but it's also putting society, in my opinion, in a tailspin.
You know, I keep thinking to myself, it's like people who wake up, kind of been guilty of this once or twice myself, where you look up and the first thing you're trying to figure out is how many retweets have you gotten, how many likes on an Instagram post, and that's what we use as affirmation to how well we're doing, not whether or not we're good with God or whether or not we're good with our family. It's how much are people telling me that I'm great and my post is good and this life that I live online is good. So anyway, I think it's a fantastic book. I'm glad you're giving this message, especially to young women and young people of both sexes that need to hear this in this day of social media. So thanks for writing the book. Congratulations on its early success, and hope to have you back soon.
Thank you so much.
All right. Well, it's that time of week, our company quiz. It's just minutes away, so grab a pen and paper and play along with us. We'll be right back.